please introduce Coach Lidwin, and he'll give us a little discussion on some DB drills.
All right, thank you, Coach. All right, welcome, guys. Just like I'm sure a lot of your programs, we have about 70 guys that come up for our team, and defensive backs, we have about 65. It is really challenging. I teach Phi-Ed, in elementary school, so my big thing is movement, keeping your kids moving. Trying to coming up with drills that there's a lot of movement going on. If you're going to do something to the right, mimic the exact same thing going to the left, and now you're using 8 guys, 10 guys at the exact same time. Everybody knows what they're doing. Obviously, in the beginning of the season, we go through a lot of the drills, the expectations of the players. And the big thing is if you are going to be a service guy for a defensive back, you better give them a good look. All right? Nobody's going to learn anything if you're a receiver coming out at 50% or 40%. All right? So you have to be a good, give them a good look, be a good scout player, and do your job. I must say, do your job 50 times a practice, because some of the guys just they're not following through with what their expectations are. So the first thing we're going to go through is the stance and progression. Coach, you can hit that. My big thing is going through the high school and going into college and playing. There was a lot of 5'9", 165-pound white guys playing college football, and they're really, really good, right? Wrong. So what I had to learn my technique. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I'm going up against guys that are quicker, faster, stronger. All right, so for me, it's an advantage to be able to teach a lot of the technical aspect of the game, because that's what I had to learn to get to a higher level. The first thing is, of course, we go through our stance. First couple days, go through the stance, making sure we, continue to reiterate everything that I want to see. Shoulders over toes, making sure that your weight is distributed correctly, on the balls of your feet, and making sure that you have that C-curve in your back, especially if you're going to be more of a jam, cover one type program. You want to have that C-curve so you can take a little bit of that, that force, and you want to have that cushion. Another thing is the transition forward. This is a huge one. We do a lot of things when we do our progression. We do this every single day. All right, it should take. With 65 guys going through, no. I usually have about, 20, 25 guys or so with the sophomores as well. I can get them in lines of 5 or 6 even, and sometimes the quarterbacks that aren't necessarily DBs, I'll have them throw. But even as the quarterbacks, I get on our quarterbacks a lot. Our coaches that are there, they just stand there and they just throw the ball. I want them to get the ball up high. I want them to give them a good look for everything that we're doing. So the first one that we do, it's just a transition, going backwards to forwards, buzzing the feet. So as you're coming here, buzz, 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 and then coming forward. I heard a buddy of mine who was playing at Oshkosh a couple years ago, but that their defensive back coach expected them at the very end to club up. And so we tried that a little bit this year, and a lot of our varsity kids continued on all the way until the very last practice of the season doing that. I was on them, but a lot of kids were forgetting, and a lot of times if I'm looking this way, I don't see what's going on here. But again, you really want to make sure that you're consistent all the way through. Another one's a 45-degree. My big thing is this one, is that bucket step. I don't know if you guys teach this or not, but I like when I'm transitioning forward on a 45-degree, that I'm already actually turning my hips while I'm buzzing my feet, and then I'm coming forward. It makes it for a lot easier transition, and you're not slipping, getting those excuses, oh, the ground was wet. All right, well, get your hips underneath you, okay? The 90-degree, everything that we do now from this point on is exaggerated, all right? So our 90-degree, I really want that hip to open up, all right? Point to where you're going. A lot of the kids, they're throwing that elbow and opening up. They get that knee up high. When they're opening up on their back, their deep 45, again, really exaggerating, getting to that angle. Our post corner turns, I give them, when we go in both directions, I let them do it 2 different ways. And I don't really necessarily care which one they go first. But if they're going to do that post corner zone turn, and it's here, okay, perfectly fine. But then when we do our wheel turn, where you're opening here, then it's a turn this way, and going on that angle. I rarely ever use cones for this because the kids just start looking for them. All right. This again, it should be a real quick progression getting through. Then we have the it's called pass, run pass. I'm sorry, pass, run, pass. It's also called our oh shit drill, which I am the first coach to actually cuss now in this group. Our oh shit drill is you go back on your pass. You come up on the run, oh shit, and then you turn, and then you get the ball passed right over.
Stop using shit.
And you know we want the ball to come right down into their, right over their shoulder. Again, this should take. We use this for our pregame. We do this for our 4 or 5 minutes it takes. When we have our JV games, our seniors and juniors are usually done within 3 or 4 minutes of this. Once they start getting really good, then we move on. You know, maybe just one direction. We don't have to do both directions all the time. Coach, you can move on. All right, so my blue highlighted area here was supposed to be a drill ran by the Wisconsin Badgers a couple years ago. We went to their practice, and you know, I brought my phone out and started filming. What this is, it's called the Badger Stalk and Fill Drill. All right, Coach, you can hit this though. The idea is what we're doing here is here's our corner. Right now he's got an outside leverage. I want the guys locked up right away on the receivers just to simulate it. You have two running backs, and then our safety is in the back here, okay? If the corner is always reading the first running back, okay? Always reading the first move of the running back. Coach, you can hit it here. He's going to get off of the stalk, coming inside because that's where the guy is, and then the guy is filling to the safety's filling to the outside. He gets off of his receiver, and then safety comes up on the outside linebacker. I'm sorry, off the running back to the outside. The idea for this particular drill is now he's on an inside release, okay? So he should release a little bit differently. Coach, go ahead. Okay, so now the running back comes to the outside. He's reading the first running back. He releases, tries to get to the outside. And now the safety comes, he's supposed to be coming up on number 2. Both running backs have the ball. Now again, like I talked about, we want to maximize our movement. So I would run this drill because it takes, you know, 2 running backs, a corner, and a safety. All right, let's do it on the other side too. So there's not a whole lot of standing around, okay? All right, Coach, go ahead. Now all this is doing is showing the receiver, the defensive back is now on the outside. He cuts in, and now he's making the move. The safety's got to fill, you know, again, filling now to the outside. All right, Coach, that's good. All right, 3-choice drill. What this drill is, it's. I'm sure you guys have probably done something like this. You got your quarterback, who I usually, if it's me, again, I've got to show proper technique. I want to get that pad height of the ball with the quarterback. I want to give the guys a good look. Okay, this type of crap, I don't like it. It's you really don't get much of a look for your DBs that way. So I'm standing about 4 or 5 yards off of the quarterback as a DB. I've got a coach here who is either a dummy or a player. All right. Usually we have a player there, and he's going to just catch the ball. But the idea is, and he can actually be spread out a little bit further. I have 3 choices. I can either intercept, I can pass break, or I can tackle. Okay. Obviously, I'm going to intercept it if I'm early. I'm going to pass break if I'm not sure, and I'm going to tackle if I'm really late. So if I'm going to break here, quarterback's now going to open. And if he's going to open this way, I'm over-exaggerating, and I'm going to beeline right to my receiver. I have to predict where that ball is going to be. If the ball is going to be early, all right, I'm here, and I'm clubbing up, all right? Obviously, we want them to come in controlled. If it's a dummy, obviously we want them to tackle, all right? We've had wheels before, too. We wheel it out, and they tackle on that as well. But if we're just, hey, let's get this going. It's a quick drill. We want to just club up. Then you guys rotate. If we're going to pass break, of course, I'm coming here, and now I'm coming in front, but I've got to get that arm around, of course, and try to pass break this way. And then, of course, interception, same thing. I want to break open, and then jump in front and intercept the ball. So, 3-choice drill. Again, if you want, you can have both sides. two defensive backs right next to each other, both of them break out. But having one guy at a time, they can't anticipate what direction they're going. All right, next drill, coach. All right, modified W drill. Modified W drill, I kind of came up with because I was kind of sick and tired of the defensive backs going 5 yards, coming up, 5 yards, going back, okay? So what I did was I turned around and just put it at different levels. All right, maybe a 5 yard, then come up at 3, come back all the way to 7, come back up to 2, back again. So coach, you can hit this one. And what they're trying to do then is they're also trying to locate the next cone. So when they're back kind of far, then they're going to, they can see what the next cone is. On the last one, I send them on either a bail or opening your hips. So as Peter comes up here, he's opening and he's getting to that last cone. Same thing there, Stefan's going to break and get to the last cone. I just felt that they get really complacent standing at that 5 yard mark. They know where it is. Eventually, when I used to do it, I'd go, just let's use the line. You know it's there. You don't have to look for it. Or if there's a cone there, you know it's there. Go to 4 if you need to, okay? But again, the idea is, one guy gets to the second cone. I'm sure you guys have done it too. You got a couple different, you got a couple guys, a couple cones in front of the guy. The next guy goes, and I can get through the whole line in under a minute. I believe, Coach, can you go to the next one? I believe. That's it. Thank you.
Let's